The situation around Ethan Klein deleting his Twitter, putting the leftovers on pause, is getting a lot more context as it looks like some of these deranged individuals are actually going after his family, not just his family here in the United States with criticism, in particular his wife, but his family over in Israel. And perhaps this is why he left Twitter. Again, I know that there will be a day that I get demonetized or I get banned or I get a strike, and he'll make a video laughing about it, and taking no, he won't extend any kind of sympathy or empathy to me at all. But that doesn't make it right for me to do the same to him. I genuinely feel bad for the guy. I think he genuinely has, a reasonable position that he's, that he is not happy with some of the things, the government over there is doing. He's trying to be open-minded, but he's just been getting browbeat by these zealots, mostly from, it would appear, Hasan's audience, and in his own Reddit now turning on him. You can see this. This is from Hebrew, saying, Daniel, do something about Ethan Klein. Find his family in Israel and talk to them. To which they replied, he is disappointing. I will try to find his brother. Like, what? Like, I assume these are Jewish people. Like, he's getting it from both sides. They said they also fight through family members. Ethan Klein was open against, some of their government's actions, but they got him. He's essentially saying that, like, oh, well, he was, they had to take it to another level. Now, all this is predicated after, yesterday, Ethan found out in real time that the people that he's been courting actually hate him, and they hate him for his race. Not because of anything he's done, because of anything his parents has done, but a government in a state in which he doesn't even live, or in a country in which he doesn't live. He found out in real time that the viewers of his new partner, Hasan, hate him. And in this clip is you could just see the heartbreak.
Hasan's Discord, and what I saw in that Discord was near universal praise for Hamas, near universal saying people deserved it, people near universally calling me a Zionist pig, fucking mass murdering genocidal freak. Yeah. And if you want to know the truth, that shit fucked me up seeing that Discord, because it made me realize that a lot of these people are watching this show, and it frankly disturbed me.
I would say, I think that, again, I don't think that Ethan is the most honest guy. I don't think that, he would ever extend the benefit of the doubt to anybody that he believed was his political enemy or political opposite. But, I don't live by those standards. And, I think that in general, Ethan has always obviously been a liberal guy, and that's fine. He used to be kind of like, quote, one of the good ones, a liberal that could still call out like the insane, he got really popular during the, the wild outbreak of the, humongous era and the insane SJW lunatics. He was a liberal that could point out those same things. That's how I felt too. I mean, he would probably disagree, but I bet we agree on more politics than he thinks. But he moved to California, and then he surrounded himself with radical leftists, and now he's sleeping in the bed that he made, essentially. You have these weirdos who are just going after him. I don't know who this Frogan person is. They seem like a lunatic to me, saying like you should recognize the privilege, and saying you don't want to discuss it anymore when it concerns the Palestinians' plight. So the people are mad. So the people that have been browbeating him, talking about going to talk to his family, all this kind of stuff, wanted him to stop talking about it. So he stopped talking about it. And then now they're mad that he stopped talking about it. It's because they really wanted them to agree. The same weirdo also said, you should recognize the privilege, and when you say you don't want to discuss it anymore. This again, when he says he wants to end leftovers. When it concerns, I mean, like Nicholas Yorio writes, I think Frogan should go there and aid in the conflict. Surely such an intelligent voice would be able to get peace negotiations starting. I mean, I'd agree. You know, his subreddit is his entire fan base is in shambles. Now, I don't know if basically these are just the new viewers, the vocal minority that Hasan brought over, or if these are his actual viewers that he's now persuaded by kind of pushing these far leftist ideologies, now turning on him. But you see, you know, I understand why he feels like this. He has been hated his whole life just for being Jewish. I don't know. I hate him for his things that he says. I never think about him being Jewish. And now the world has a very real reason to hate Jewish people. If I were Jewish, I would be very scared myself. So I understand that's why he's so defensive about this. And the people on this sub really don't give an F about this war. They just want to be right online, which is very disgusting in my point of view. What is the real reason? Like, what? And they're right that, you know, people just do want to be correct online. I had stopped watching almost every H3 after the Will Smith situation. I called in because Ethan was going insane about it on Twitter and was even more surprised by his response on the show. H3 is fans of color, and some of the things he was saying turned me off completely. By the way, I know I have fans that are non-white, but I'm never calling you a fan of color. And I hope to God you never call yourself that either. When people use this language, you can already tell they're like some weirdo political ideologue. So all these people, again, like they turn on him, they say, you know, I never really liked leftovers. I felt it was a memification of the news. They spent a lot of time dunking on conservatives and conservative political commentators. But, you know, Ethan's reaction was purely emotional, blah, 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 blah. I know Ethan always wants to change his content to keep it fresh, but newsflash, if you want to dip your toe into politics, you can't shy away when things get hard. I guess that's probably true. It's probably true. You know, to pause leftovers when these conversations between both sides is important to be put on display is a strange choice. To say I'm done having this conversation in the face of, again, everything going on as a massive platform to push a ceasefire is strange. All I have to say is what privilege it is to be able to turn away in the face of what we are seeing. Bro, people do the goodbye H3 forever. I mean, this isn't an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. The guy's just not built for this. I've said this for years. I'm not either. People that are terminally online, obsessed with wanting to be, you know, to win arguments, being obsessed with wanting to win arguments all the time, they've got nothing going for them in their life in any way, shape, or form. And they'll like drag you down to their level and beat you with experience based on, you know, their own stupidity. So whenever Heel is in the room with Ethan, when he's speaking about the situation, he runs massive defense for Israel. Obviously, she was born there and drafted in the IDF. Not her fault. It's understandable why she'd be sympathetic to Israel. Even still, I feel like there's a clear difference. I mean, I feel like Ethan has been pretty clear. You know, imagine a podcast of the crew minus Ethan. I'm posting here because I'm there. This is, by the way, this is a whole subreddit with 52,000 members of people that hate Ethan. Or I don't know, they're people that have been banned from the main sub. These are all fans though. And like, I mean, they're all watchers of the show, but they've been banned from the main sub because the main sub is like ban happy. I don't know. You know, it's a weird time. A lot of times I understand. It's so weird. I mean, I don't know if it's just people that use Reddit. I assume there's like normal people who use Reddit. I don't know. But it seems like, you know, that he's just, you know, I mean, it's not like people are really unsubscribing, which is kind of weird. I mean, people are unfollowing him on Twitter, but not very many. You know, nothing that I would say is like any kind of a huge thing. You know, H3 podcast, I don't know if anybody's really leaving. You know, that doesn't look like it. It's still growing relatively consistently. But they're just really, really, really mad at him And I guess I understand as a content creator the pull to want to get in. I mean, I got sucked in during Ukraine early on, and I certainly talked about, more pointedly this topic here and there. And I realized pretty quickly that there was a large portion of my viewers that really just didn't want to hear about that particular thing from me. With Ethan being Jewish, it's obvious why he wants to talk about it, and it's obvious that he's going to have his own biases or blind spots. And having 20,000 14-year-olds who haven't ever worked a real job screaming at you all day long every day, I'm sure is probably something that he's grown a little old of. I don't know how old he is. Probably looks like maybe he's close to 50 or something like that. But you get a little tired of that, and you get a little tired of your own fans turning against you and yelling at you and screaming at you and all this kind of stuff. So hopefully he'll find some peace. I hope this, obviously there's a lot of people like it's going to bring him back to our side. I doubt it. In my experience, these people just double and triple down. I do hope that he, understands where a large portion of these far leftists lie, though, in particular in their opinions about his own group of people. And perhaps that will inspire him to be more open-minded again and look at maybe some of the people he's surrounding himself with and what they say about him when he's not in the room. And that'll be pretty interesting. But going after his family, obviously, cringe and bad. And his wife, too, dumb, stupid. I always stay away from criticizing his wife or whatever. I try to. She's got nothing to do with it. And, I genuinely feel bad for the guy, even though I know most of the comments will disagree.